Hello everyone, welcome to your own channel, and that is High School Computer Studies. And this is our first video of new playlist, and this playlist is for specially class 10 ICSE computer application. In this playlist, I will try to cover each and every topic from your syllabus, and definitely we will solve the previous year question papers also. So keep giving your love and support. So let's start. So as per the syllabus, first chapter is about class as the basis of all computation. And in this chapter, we will talk about object and class. But before coming to this topic, I'll give you brief introduction of object-oriented programming. What is object-oriented programming? How object-oriented programming is better than procedural-oriented language or procedural-oriented programming language. So let's start. So, high level languages. So, as we know already about high level languages are classified into various categories, or you can say various programming paradigms like POP, this is OOP, and more are there. Concerned about POP and OOP only. So, we will talk about these two only. Fine. So, as the name indicate, procedure oriented programming. Procedure oriented programming and object oriented programming. So both these are programming paradigm, means we have classified the programming languages according to their characteristics. So few languages we have put under the POP and few languages we have put under OOP. So these are two different programming paradigm. I am using the word paradigm. These are called paradigm, right? So two paradigm we will discuss. So first we will talk about POP, that is procedure oriented programming. So what happens in POP? In POP, program is divided into small modules, and these modules are called procedure or function or subroutine. We can call by any name, and in Java, in object oriented, we will call it as method or function. Fine. So all are same. So we will call it module, segment, procedure, function, subroutine. Fine. So what happens in procedure oriented language? Program. What is a program? Set of statements. So these are the set of statements. So we have divided set of statements into procedures, or we can say segment. Suppose, and we divide the segment, for example, this is segment 1, set of first 5 statements, and this is segment 2. Or you can say this is procedure 1 and this is procedure 2. So on what basis we divide the statements? Not randomly. We divide the statements on the basis of task. So we have grouped these statements as per the task into a segment. So these 4 statements are for one task, specified task. For example, these 4 statements are checking whether the number is prime or not. Fine. So this we have made one segment, or we can say function, or we can say procedure. Fine. So this is procedure 1 or segment 1. This is the another. Fine. Now what is the use of doing all these? If you will not make it, the program will become longer. See, if you want to repeat this statement further in the program, you can call the segment name. So what we do, we divide the programs into segments and give some name, like this is ABC. Segment 1 name is ABC and this is XYZ. So in a program, further, if you want to use the same statement to check whether the number is prime or not, you don't have to repeat the statement. We can call these statements by ABC only, by the segment name or by the function name, by the procedure name, all are same, fine. So what is the advantage of dividing the programs into small modules? The first advantage is it reduces the complexity of long program. Otherwise क्या होगा? Otherwise you will repeat these statements again and again. Suppose here you have checked the prime number of to check the number whether A is prime or not. Fine. And again in the program it is the need to check the another number whether B is prime or not. So instead of repeating the same statements again for another number, what you will do? You can call these statements by the name. No need to repeat. So क्या होगा? Long program आपका small हो गया. Fine. So it reduces the complexity of long program. Repetition will be less. Repetition of statements will be less. This is called code redundancy. So code redundancy is reduced and program can be easily managed, isn't it? So program, if you are dividing into module, it can be easily managed, it can be easily seen. Okay, this is segment 1 to check the prime number, this is the segment 2 to calculate whatever, to calculate the factorial of number. So it can be easily managed also, and the program is more readable. You can easily get, okay, this is segment 1 for this purpose, this is segment 2 for this purpose. Fine. So these are the few advantages of dividing the program into modules, right? Now these are the advantages. Now what are the limitations of POP due to which object oriented programming languages were developed? What were the limitations? So now we will talk about the limitations of POP. So in POP, as we have just seen, that we divide the programs into small modules or procedure or segment or functions. Fine. So suppose this is a program, and in program 3 functions are there. Suppose this is function A, this is function B, and this is function C. So we have divided the program into 3 functions, 3 subroutines, 3 procedure. You can take any name. Fine. Now what happened in POP? We focus more on functions and less on data. So whatever the important data present in the program, we make it global. So the data becomes global. Global means any function can use it anytime, very easily. So this global data can be accessed by function A, can be accessed by function B, and can be accessed by function C. So what we have observed, that in this POP, data flows freely from function to function. Data can easily flow. So data is not much safe. Any function can access that anytime and can make changes, right? So this data in POP is not secure. That is why we call POP is not much secure for data sensitive projects. So whatever the projects in which data plays important role, for that POP is not secure. Fine. This is the main limitation, or you can say disadvantage. Now second disadvantage, in POP we cannot make programs related to the real world problems, real world situation. So to understand the real world situation, we need to understand the objects, we need to use the objects. And to overcome these 2 main limitations, object oriented programming paradigm or languages were developed. So now we will talk about OOPS, that is object oriented programming. So as we have just seen that in POP, procedure oriented programming, program is divided into small modules called procedure or function. Now what happens in OOP? In OOPS, program is divided into objects. Fine. So suppose program is divided into 3 objects. First is object A, object B, and object C. Now what is object? Object is a unique entity which combines data and function. The object combines or contains data and function. This is data and function of object A. This is data and function of object B. Same way, this is data and function of object C. Fine. So program is divided into three objects, object A, B, C. And what is object? Object is a single unit, or you can say it is a entity which contains data and function, which combines data and function together. Now what happens in this? If you see the data, fine, this data can be accessed by this function only, function associated with the same object. Fine, this data can be accessed by the function of same object. This data cannot be accessed by this function, no. Fine, so this data can be accessed by this function only. And now how the object will communicate with each other? Object will communicate with each other through function. Function of another object can access the function of first object. Fine. So objects can communicate through functions, but function of another object cannot access this data. So what we have seen? Data is not freely available. Data doesn't flow freely. Fine. Data is hidden inside the object, and this hiding feature was not present in POP. So in OOP there is a hiding feature, you can say. OOP is having hiding feature which hides the data inside the object. Data is not freely available for other functions, for other objects. Data is available for the function of the same object only. So this make it more secure as compared to the POP, this hiding feature. Fine, that was not available in the POP. So due to which OOP is more secure as compared to the POP. We call now OOP, Java is more secure, or we can say OOP's languages are more secure as compared to the POP because of this data hiding feature. Fine. I hope you have understood this. Same way, this object can communicate through function, this is correct, but this data cannot be accessed by this function directly. Fine. Now we will see the definition of OOP. Now before coming to the definition of OOP, we will see which languages come under POP and OOP. So under POP, languages like Algol, Fortran, Pascal, C, Basic, so all such type of languages comes under POP, procedure oriented programming. And C++, Java, Python are the object oriented programming language. I hope it is clear. Now come to the definition of OOP. How will you define OOP? So as I told you, POP and OOP, what are these? These are programming paradigm. So OOP is a programming paradigm that is based on the idea of object to represent data and method. Simple, that is based on idea of object, and what object contains data and method. So object to represent data and method. So I hope it is clear. Now we will see the difference between OOP and POP. So here are few differences between POP and OOPs. So first is, in POP, programs are divided into small parts known as functions or procedures. In OOP, programs are divided into small parts known as objects. Second is, it is less secure, it is more secure. Third is it focuses more on functions than data. So in POP it focuses more on functions than data, but in OOP it focuses more on data than function. So these are few differences. I hope it is clear and no need to go in that detail, because this topic is not much important from the examination point of view, but you should have some idea about OOP and POP. That's why I have given this brief introduction. I hope it will be helpful for you all. Thanks for watching.